A Roman soldier's knowledge of the Roman army itself could make him a fearsome opponent if he decided to use that experience against Rome itself. With this video, we are going to talk about 10 men who did just that and ended up posing a major threat to Rome's government. 10. Julius VINDEX. Julius was a Roman governor who revolted against Emperor Nero in 68 AD. He ruled a province in Gaul and received support from several other provinces and armies. VINDEX suggested the appointment of the general Servius Sulpicius Galba as emperor. He led his troops into several battles against Nero's loyal forces, but was ultimately defeated, with his rebellion squashed by the Roman general Licinius Mucianus. Following his defeat, VINDEX committed suicide. His uprising was one of the factors that played a part in Nero's demise and Galba's accession to the throne. 9. Gaius Julius Civilis. Civilis was a Germanic leader who spearheaded a rebellion against the Roman Empire in 69 AD. He led the Batavians, a Germanic people who inhabited the region of present-day Netherlands. Civilis's uprising was part of several movements of rebellion that took place during 69 AD. Known as the Year of the Four Emperors, which saw the Roman Empire undergo a series of civil wars and new emperors. Civilis did manage to capture some important cities, such as Xanten in Germania, but his defiance was finally smothered by the Roman forces under the command of the Roman general Quintus Petilius Cerialis. Not much is known about the final stages of Civilis's life, but he is widely regarded as one of the most important leaders in the history of the region's Germanic peoples. 8. JUGURTHA. JUGURTHA was the Berber leader who led a rebellion against the Roman Empire in what is now Algeria during the late 2nd century BC. He was the head of the Massae tribe and revolted against the Roman government, taking on the Roman general Lucius Calpurnius Bestia, and then the Roman general Quintus Caecilius Metellus. Jugurtha succeeded in defeating the Roman forces several times and established himself as a powerful Numidian king. He also forged alliances with other Berber leaders and managed to expand his territory. Jugurtha's rebellion was finally suppressed by the Roman general Gaius Marius, who crushed Jugurtha in a decisive battle and handed him over to the Roman authorities to be executed. Jugurtha is still considered one of the most important and remarkable leaders in Berber history, and his rebellion is considered one of the most important against the Roman Empire. 7. Gaius Avidius Cassius. Cassius was a Roman general and governor who mutinied against Emperor Marcus Aurelius in 175 AD. He served as governor of Syria and was commanding the military campaigns against the Parthians when he received fake reports that Marcus Aurelius had died. Seizing the opportunity, Cassius proclaimed himself emperor and proceeded to rule Syria and Egypt. He successfully conquered some eastern provinces and gathered a sizable army. But the news of Marcus Aurelius's death was a hoax, and he soon heard about Cassius's rebellion. The emperor swiftly sent his son Commodus and an army to counter him. Cassius was defeated and died in a decisive battle, with his rebellion smashed. Nevertheless, this rebellion brought about a whole range of problems for the empire and led to the downfall of many governors and civil servants loyal to Marcus Aurelius's administration. 6. Spartacus. Spartacus is on this list because, before he became a slave and a gladiator, he was most likely a Roman auxiliary soldier, a member of a Thracian unit, and surely knew his way around the Roman legions. After being discharged, he turned to banditry, was captured and sentenced to death in the arena. In 73 BC, he and other slaves rebelled against their masters and fled to the mountains. Spartacus rapidly became a charismatic and effective leader, and his rebellion grew rapidly, attracting slaves from all over Italy. He defeated the Roman forces in several battles and established himself as a leader the Romans feared. He and his followers kept the Roman forces busy for 2 years, but were finally beaten by the Roman general Crassus. Spartacus and his followers were killed in a decisive battle, but their revolt left a lasting impression on the history of ancient Rome. and is recalled as a prime example of resistance and bravery against oppression. 5. TACFARINAS. TACFARINAS was an auxiliary soldier in Numidia, and upon discharge became a defector who led a series of rebellions against the Roman Empire in the region of present-day Tunisia. He headed these uprisings for around 20 years, stirring up a lot of trouble for the Romans and breaking the region's stability. TACFARINAS' insurgencies began in 17 AD as a localized conflict between the Numidians and the Romans. Eventually, TACFARINAS gathered an array of Numidian tribes and formed an army of well-trained and equipped warriors. He ended up posing significant disruption to the Roman Empire, which sent several generals to tackle the rebellion. At last, in 24 AD, the Roman general Publius Petronius defeated TACFARINAS and his troops, ending the rebellion and bringing peace to the region. After his defeat, TACFARINAS was captured and executed by the Romans. His rebellion proved to be one of the lengthiest and most troublesome that the Roman Empire had to face in Africa during this period. 4. FIRMUS. FIRMUS was a military leader and rebel of the 4th century AD who led a rebellion against the Roman rule, lasting about 3 years and posing major problems for the Romans. FIRMUS was a wealthy and influential man from Picenum, an important city in the region of Carthage. He rebelled against the Roman government, most likely due to personal disagreements or economic interests. FIRMUS rounded up several tribes and formed an army, attacking Roman cities and disrupting trade routes. The Roman government sent several generals to deal with this rebellion, but FIRMUS kept ahead of them and went on causing trouble. In the end, the Roman general Theodosius managed to rout FIRMUS and his troops, ending the rebellion and restoring peace to the region. He was captured and put to death by the Romans. His uprising was one of the longest and most difficult that the Roman Empire had to face in Africa during this period. 3. Magnus Maximus. Magnus Maximus double-crossed the Emperor Valentinian II, toppling him and ruling as Emperor of the West from 383 to 388 AD. Valentinian II was the legitimate emperor at the time, and Maximus was proclaimed emperor by the Roman army in Britannia, with neither Valentinian's consent nor authorization. Maximus's decision was viewed as a usurpation of imperial power and a betrayal of the Roman Empire and its legitimate ruler. Maximus conducted several successful campaigns against barbarian enemies and expanded the Roman Empire in the West. Yet he also encountered internal challenges and was finally overthrown and killed by Theodosius, the Roman Emperor of the East. Maximus can be seen as a traitor to the Roman Empire, since he overthrew a legitimate emperor and ruled as a usurper, but can also be considered as an ambitious leader who battled for his own power and glory. 2. Titus Labienus. He was Julius Caesar's finest commander in the Gallic Wars and his second in command. He is referred to by name in Caesar's writings about his first campaign. Labienus is described by Caesar as a military genius, ranking alongside the general himself in tactical abilities. Over time, Labienus became rich and well-known during his Gaul campaign, and started to think that he deserved a position equivalent to or higher than that of Julius Caesar. But Caesar refused to award him an independent command, nor did he offer him the prospect of a consulship. Labienus resented this lack of acknowledgement. Consequently, he betrayed his former general and joined his greatest enemy, Pompey the Great. Labienus took with him more than 3,700 soldiers from Gaul. During the Roman civil wars, he fought alongside Pompey against Caesar's army, helping to cement the former's power. During the Battle of Munda, Labienus led the Roman forces against Caesar's loyal legions, but was killed in action. This was the end of the Roman civil war between Pompey and Caesar. 1. Arminius. Arminius belonged to the Cherushi nobility in Germania and was raised under Roman influences, serving as commander of an auxiliary cohort in the Roman army that was deployed along the river Rhine. He was under the rule of the governor Publius Quintilius Varus. It was Varus's task to complete the conquest of Germania, but his ruthless methods and tax burden angered the local tribes and led to a revolt. Having witnessed his people suffering under Roman rule, Arminius decided to spearhead the rebellion. In 9 AD, he drew Varus and his 3 legions into an ambush in the Teutoburg forest. Varus and his forces were utterly trounced in this ambush, making it one of the worst defeats ever suffered by Rome. This loss led Emperor Augustus to drop his plans to conquer Germania. Arminius, after successfully freeing Germania from the Romans and leading its subsequent defense, faced Maroboduus, the king of the Marcomanni, and emerged as the most powerful leader in Germania. He longed to become king, but faced resistance from numerous tribal factions who regarded his authority with suspicion. Ultimately, Arminius was betrayed by members of his own family and was killed in 19 AD. The knowledge that these men had of the Roman army surely proved to be a powerful weapon against Rome. Although some were initially successful, they were defeated and their empires never lasted long. If you liked learning more about these military leaders, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'll be around until the next video.